Hey guys, welcome back to Wherever You Go, a YouTube channel focused on travel tips, tricks, how to travel smarter, where to go, what to do, wild destinations, all that good stuff. And today I want to talk to you about Japan. I've talked a little bit about Japan, specifically things to do in Kyoto. You can go ahead and check that link up there. But today I want to talk to you about tips on how to travel in Japan. What not to do, what to do, culture faux pas, things to avoid, all that good stuff. So let's get into the top 10 tips for traveling in Japan. All right, first things first, you're gonna wanna do your best to avoid those pricey cabs. Taxis in Japan are notoriously expensive, so do your very best to either figure out the train system, which is a little overwhelming at first, but ultimately really easy to get around. So ultimately try to avoid cabs if you can. And one thing to know about the train system, it is not 24 hours. So if you're out and about later into the evening, be sure you catch that last train. Kind of going along with that, in Japan, there's this thing called the Japan Rail Pass. So that allows you to travel within the country. A lot of them are bullet trains, really fast to get around. So if you want to go to multiple cities in Japan, I would recommend getting one of those passes. It's unlimited travel once you buy the pass, but it is not cheap. So you want to go ahead and figure out the cost benefit. If you're only going to one other city, say, it's probably not worth getting that rail pass and just buy that individual ticket instead. So decide whether you want to get that rail pass or not. Again, it's a great deal if you're going on multiple long distance journeys. But if you're only going to say one city, then it's probably not worth the money. So when you're in Japan and you're looking for a place to eat, do not expect those hibachi restaurants. Guess what? It's a Western invention. Those are not actually types of restaurants that you eat at in Japan. The closest thing you'll get to it is probably a teppanyaki restaurant, and you'll actually cook your own meals tableside rather than one of those chefs tossing flaming vegetables in the air and tossing their knives around. It's honestly a lot more fun to be able to cook your own food. It's a way cooler experience and more authentic. All right, if you are an American, you are gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but when you're in Japan, go ahead and try your hand at convenience store sushi. It is honestly really good and such a great deal. Most 7-Elevens have a wide range of food, whether that's sushi or little snacks at the ready. So again, while I might not recommend this in the US, in Japan it is totally commonplace. And honestly, it's a great cheap lunch option. So highly recommend. Also something that's kind of unique to Japan, their vending machines, first of all, are all over the place. And second of all, they have the most crazy amount of options that you could think of in those vending machines. Whether you want like a bowl of ramen or bananas, you can basically do your grocery shopping at these vending machines. Kind of just kidding, but just to get the point across that there are tons of options. You can even buy like an umbrella if it starts raining, so pretty cool. This is kind of a cultural thing, but when you're in public, I would recommend speaking quietly, watching the volume of your voice and making sure you're not being so obnoxious. While that might be commonplace in the US, in Japan, it's very important to be aware that you're sharing the space with others. So keeping conversations to kind of a minimum is kind of showing respect to other people, especially when you're on public transportation. All right, chopstick etiquette. You never want to point at someone with your chopsticks. You don't want to stab your food. You don't want to put your chopsticks sitting so it's sticking into your rice, so it's sticking straight up. That is actually that symbols death in Japanese culture, so you never want to do that. Instead, you want to place your chopsticks on the side of the bowl or on top of the bowl, kind of on the side of the ledge. Good news, guys, you don't need to tip in Japan. In fact, I would recommend avoiding tipping at all costs. So Japanese culture, they value hard work, they're paid a good living wage, so you're not expected to tip. In fact, leaving a tip might be a sign of disrespect, so don't tip. All right, this is kind of a weird one, but a very important thing to know. When you're in Japan and you, let's say, buy a water bottle at a 7-Eleven and you're done with the water bottle, you want to hold on to that trash because, surprise, surprise, Japan does not have that many trash cans in public places. So you got to hold on to it until you find a trash can. So Japan's a very clean country, so it's pretty impressive that they don't have that many trash cans. But so just be respectful of your place and shove it in your backpack or your purse until you find a trash can. You can usually find them at convenience stores, near ATMs, and some train stations. But you might end up holding onto your trash until you get back to your hotel, if I'm totally honest. This is kind of unique to Japan as well. So when you're in Japan, it's a good idea to cover your tattoos if you happen to have any. Things are changing quite a bit just due to tourism, but tattoos are generally associated with gangs in Japan. So you don't want to be associated with a gang in Japan. So if you feel so inclined, go ahead and cover your tattoos. One more tip that I would recommend, renting a pocket Wi-Fi. This is a great option if you don't want to pay a bunch of money on your cell phone bill to get international plans. And Wi-Fi isn't necessarily as publicly available as you might think. So getting a pocket Wi-Fi, a small mobile hotspot, allows you to basically connect your phone, laptop, and tablets. You can use this Wi-Fi anywhere you go, and so it's a really great solution for cell phone service. And you actually want to order it in advance and get it shipped either to your hotel or collect it at the airport. All right, guys, those are my top tips before you go on a trip to Japan. I hope you found this information helpful. If you got value out of this, please hit that subscribe button, and see you next time.